History is something that's important to small towns all across Iowa, and in northern Audubon County, Gray is always looking to tell its story. Gray, Iowa is pretty quiet. You might see the water tower, the old post office, or the school where the bell no longer rings, but not much else, unless you talk to any of its 61 residents.
A lot of history.
You might just find yourself in the middle of class.
Gray was a very prosperous town.
It's hard to imagine, but this one stop sign town was once on the verge of becoming a metropolis.
Right here is George Gray.
Barbershops, pool halls, and saloons all lined Main Street. Until 100 years ago,
He set his building on fire to collect the insurance, and it spread.
a fire burned down nearly the entire town. For a century, only rubble remained, until a woodmaker moved to town just 3 years ago.
Something just clicks or happens sometimes in life.
Charlie Mundy is not the craftsman, but with a flick of a switch, his father's work comes to light.
I thought he'd lost his mind.
Ray Mundy is the one with the talent. He rebuilt the town in what it would have looked like right before it went up in flames. It started with the train depot and then the granary, the two drivers of the one-time strong local economy. Then the buildings on Main Street, the resemblance uncanny. But Ray's growing city was getting too big. It needed to move from his basement to be put on display at the school.
I don't know how many times I'd heard him say, I got this building done, the grain building or whatever. I think I'm going to quit after this one. And then, it'd be another 5 more buildings, and he's still going,
Charlie couldn't believe all the work his dad put into this pandemic project.
He does everything with wood glue. No super glue or no hot melt.
Every sign in its perfect place to tell the story of Gray's past.
In 1882, there was 4 saloons in this town. It was a hub.
Charlie saw the delight it brought his father to bring the town's history alive.
He'd get that one done, he'd start another building.
But as the city took shape, they realized it couldn't be finished. As quickly as a booming city can crumble to ash, they learned a man's health can too.
I would like to get at least 3 more buildings done, and maybe 7 was my goal before this. I got sick.
Lung cancer. The diagnosis came in November, and by New Year's, Ray's tools had gone silent. The retired construction worker unable to walk up to the school to see his masterpiece.
It's pretty crazy.
6 days after he told us that, Ray died.
I didn't think of anything like that.
He's asked me to finish up, and sorry. The detail in these things.
It's really something special, isn't it?
Yeah.
The handles on the doors, the pulleys inside the train, even a little bird sitting atop the power lines. Ray had thought of everything.
Every time I come here, I find some detail. And, I don't think that can be duplicated.
Just a week before he died, Ray Mundy told us his life's work would become his legacy.
I'm not saying it's the best work by any means, and I would never say that. But I think it brought some history out of this little town.
A town now down to 60 residents is still quiet. But in just 3 years of living there, Ray Mundy proved that if you look hard enough, you can find color in anything, even in gray.
What a great privilege for me.
You can find Ray's model on display in its permanent home in the old school building. You just have to call first and set up an appointment.